Anyway,
Sure wouldn't want to put it there. But let's continue the DEI trend and talk about how DEI has sunk a naval ship. Because I thought it was hilarious.
I was laughing so hard at this.
This is literally just for the fun of it, guys. But a Royal New Zealand Navy has lost its first ship at sea since World War II after one of its vessels ran aground off the coast of Somalia.
Samoa.
And Samoa, whatever.
Wow.
Samoa. Okay,
Those
yeah.
are very
Okay.
different locations.
They are completely different locations. I saw the S, the A, and was Somalia. Okay. The HMNCS Manawagnu.
I bet you
Manawanui.
Mana wanted.
Manawanui. That would be my guess.
A specialist in diving and ocean imaging ship.
So they should have saw it coming.
Seafloor came into trouble about 1 nautical mile from the island of anybody?
No, this is your.
Upolu.
Upolu.
That was close. Upolu on Saturday night local time while conducting a survey of the reef.
So they literally saw it coming.
Wait. Next sentence. It later caught fire before capsizing. I'm sorry. It's just ship catching fire and sinking, and
yeah.
It just didn't get struck by lightning at this point.
No, it gets greater once Zio hasn't scrolled down far enough yet, but once he gets to the captain, it gets you kind of go.
Oh, I know,
so
my dude.
It runs aground. It catches fire. It capsizes.
Nobody died. Nobody died, guys. Nobody died.
Nobody dies. I mean, granted, they had like a ton of time to probably evacuate the ship in their lifeboats, but I mean, how do you take an ocean imaging ship, run it onto a reef that you're imaging, catch it on fire, and capsize the damn thing? Like, I can't even imagine how it capsized. Either one, like, I guess I don't know, low tide happened and it brought it down, which then forced it to fall off the reef, or they were trying to get it off the reef and somehow made it fill up with more water, and then anyway.
Well, it'll be answered as soon as you scroll down.
The incident occurred during about rough windy weather. Military officials said rescuers battled currents and winds that pushed life rafts and seaboats towards the reef, and swells made rescue efforts challenging. But yeah, everybody was safe. But yeah, as of 0640 local time on Saturday, the ship was listed as heavy with smoke and blowing from it. At 9, it was below the surface. So, it had a few hours. Let's see. Is there... Oh, wait. Does this not have a picture of her?
I think they might have removed it. See if you can find it.
It was there.
I think they removed it because people were pointing it out.
New Zealand.
Isn't their Navy like 9 ships? Well,
it's 6 now, 8 now, I think, because they also lost another one before then for something, I think.
So they lost, 15% of their Navy just now?
Pretty much. That's a shame. They don't have many ships.
Oh my gosh, her picture's not there either anymore.
Okay.
I think they removed her picture from everything. It's not on that one either.
Wow. So essentially she was a pink-haired lesbian.
Because of course.
Oh, come on.
And what I thought was one of the funniest comments to post on this was, hey, what does her sexuality have to do with it? Any woman can wreck. It was the funniest comment I've seen, and everybody was dying of laughter. I mean, they photoshopped a wall in the water, and it looked like they just turned it into the wall. It was a cheap Photoshop, but it was funny.
Did you ever?
I think I found one.
Yep. Oh, white hair. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, it's white hair. She's old, but she.
That's not age. That's dyed.
No, that's not age. That's dyed.
Oh, my bad. Dye.
Well, you can tell because the roots aren't white.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
The roots are darker than. Why would you dye your hair gray?
There are people who do this.
That's weird.
It's a trend. It's like frosted tips used to be a thing, you know.
But anyway.
So how could this happen? Scrolls down to white hair.
Criticizing trolling. I'm sorry, there aren't a lot of female captains, and also there aren't a lot of ships that are capsizing while running into a reef that they were taking a picture of and catching fire at the same time. Like,
well, she obviously can't handle hard things full of semen.
So I think this cost New Zealand like $9 billion or something.
Oh, they overpaid for this ship. I think it was like 100 mil or something like that, and the ship was only worth like 15.
I mean, it's just funny though. Like if a dude did it, we'd still laugh, but it wouldn't be so. I mean, the thing is that there isn't like a huge pool of women who are ship captains, and one of the very
and now we know why.
Exactly. One of the
There's
very few happens to be the only one who's done something this extreme, you know?
Oh, and by the way, they mention that in the defense of this woman and say it's a learning experience. It's $100 million learning experience at the New Zealand taxpayers.
Oh, yeah, it was like, wasn't it something about how men are used to, because they've had like hundreds of years to learn how to navigate the sea and stuff.
Do they think
women
there's
are
like
getting
this...
in these places, so it's a learning experience. And it's like, no.
Is there like some sort of collective pool y'all draw from when you learn stuff? Are you listening to the ancestors of people who, well, not even your ancestors?
I'll give you a hint. This is
employment
how men
ancestors.
learn things.
Right.
What we do is we typically go out into the woods somewhere, and there's going to be a circle of rock and stone. We chant for 3 days straight in the center of that circle, and then the ancestors of thousands of years ago, just their knowledge floods into us, and we know everything. I mean, it's a 3-day affair. We all do it typically at around 12 or 13-ish. That's when people just disappear for a few days because they go on a camping trip, and that's how we go about it. Yeah,
that's what that owl statue was about.
No, but seriously, that was the thing. And it was like, and then all the news thingies that I was reading at the time was talking about how nobody was hurt, nobody was killed, and so it was a win, and all this other stuff. And it's like, you guys sunk $100 million ship. What the fuck? That is not a win.
I love this though. This where Colin. No, scroll up.
Oh.
Colin said she was appalled to see online trolling from armchair admirals, people who will never have to make decisions which mean life or death for their subordinates. My dude, I don't. You're right, but also I wouldn't put myself in that position. You did, and you failed. We're allowed to make fun of it. You put yourself out there. We're allowed to say that you failed at it. The fact that you happen to be a very small pool, which kind of doesn't do good statistically. Let's put it that way.
It's like, I don't even know how you manage that.
I don't know.
I mean, your whole sole purpose with that ship is to image the damn reef to know what it is, and you run into the fucker. How?
Did you ever see the episode where Frasier is learning how to ride a bike?
Oh yeah, he just topples over.
Well, no, he didn't just topple over. What he would do is he was like fixated on trees. And it was like the tree was pulling him in like a magnet. So he would see the tree and he would just keep turning into it. He'd going, no, 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 the whole time. And then he'd crash into the tree. This is what this reminds me of. You see the reef and you just start turning into it like, no. Yes.
And they've been over backwards making, here's what I think is, personally, I know pearl collecting, whatever. I find it offensive. They went out of their way to defend her for this massive mistake. If that was a dude, he would be court-martialed,
Well,
all
maybe
sorts
not court-martialed, but there would definitely be some reprimand. There'd be an issue there.
Yeah.
Of course, it also wouldn't have made news. It would have made news, but it would have been like news of the day and then forgotten about tomorrow.
Yeah.
But then again, it is like one of 7 or 8 ships they have in the fleet.
Yeah, so it might make bigger news.
It might make bigger news for them. I just don't know.
I tossed my theory on how that happened into the chat. It starts where it needs to, like 56 seconds, and it goes on way longer, so you can just stop after. You'll know when it happens.
Oh, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you said Friends. My bad.
No. So no, that's the thing though. He saw the tree, but every time he sees a tree, he has to crash into the tree. And this is what I feel must have happened with this ship. They saw the coral reef and they were like, "Oh, I'm drawn to it." Like, "No, stop. No." I can't unsee it. I mean, you know, it might have been something that was a freak accident somehow. I don't know. Maybe there's more explanation here, but it's kind of funny, dude. And if you can't see that it was kind of funny, or just shut up and don't be a sour faced, take your L, take the lumps that come with it. Just it's comical. I'm sorry.
It is very comical.
Because Captain was a woman. All right, give me another reason. Give me a reason to stay here, lady.
Here's what kills me. You would not get this defense if it was a man.
Yeah.
No, they would be held up to a higher degree.
And here's the thing. It might, like, in all seriousness, it could have been a freak accident. By the way, they said that it had been imaged since the 80s, if I recall. Mm-hmm. It could be that reef's seen huge growth, unexpected growth, and...
Well, no, that's the whole point of them imaging it. They stay at safe distance.
I mean, you're staring at the reef. You're looking out for reef.
Plow into that reef and
how do you run into reef?
Navigate the ocean to do that.
I mean, your job is to look at the reef. I know. I was trying, and I was like, wait.
I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt, but damn, yeah, it does really seem like it was because she's a woman.
And the thing is that it's not that she crashed because ovaries make you crash. I think it's that she crashed because maybe they were so proud that they had a woman that they elevated her faster than she was actually ready to be in that position.
I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that she was in a different navy somewhere or something like that at one point, and then moved to New Zealand, did something else, and then decided to join the Navy. Or joined their Royal Navy to go back to it, but wasn't planning to be a captain, and then it just sort of happened.
Yeah.
Because of prior experience and stuff. So yeah, I mean, it could be they were like, "Oh, well, you have prior experience. You're a woman. You check all the boxes."
Yeah, I think that it could have been. It's not necessarily because she's a woman. No, it's funny that she's a woman. But the thing is that they put such a high premium on it that it makes it hilarious. And the thing is, they put it such a high premium on it because they're all about checking these boxes. And because they're so interested, they're so determined to do that, they will sacrifice quality to get that box checked. And they're super proud, and they're
offered anything else either.
No,
because these are just a day old. These articles I just pulled up here, where they're talking about it's not because she's a woman and the misogynistic trolls, blah blah blah, this that and the other. But they haven't provided any other explanation. When the news broke, they talked about, well, maybe there was a power outage or something. I'm like, why the fuck did the ship have a power outage? That's not a normal thing. And then that's what caused them to run into the reef or something, which, I mean, if that was the case, that would be great. But apparently they still don't know, which is concerning, which makes me think, yes, they know. It is because...
User error.
That's the only reason.
Skill issue.
So in order to, prevent saying that, it might have been because she's a woman, because they can't admit to skill issue at this point.
Because it'll embarrass them, but everybody in New Zealand already knows, because that's why they're making fun of them.
Put anything else down, and it's just like
all they're gonna do is just poo-poo you and try to scold you and shame you
And
for
brush it under the
making.
rug.
Well,
Yeah.
look, they're just going to try to
20% of
yell
their
at you.
uniformed defense forces women, by the way, in case you were wondering.
Unimportant. Do not
Yeah,
care.
well, it's important because it's right here at the bottom of the article.
Well, it's important to them, and I think that's our point. I think that's our point as to why this is interesting. This is interesting because of the fact that this is a woman. There are very few women in this position. The percentage of women who have sunken ships is very high now.
Can you scroll to the very top of that, like very top?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they don't. It's a. I every time I see BBC, I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
that
these
is
are
such
both
unfortunate
BBC
naming convention, isn't it?
then.
Like I see BBC and I'm like, you guys should really change your name.
Yeah.
I know it's British something. British.
British Broadcasting Company.
Yeah.
That's it. I was thinking British bastard communist or something. I don't know.